Hello, beautiful vlog watchers, and welcome to another webisode of my story, where I tell my life story in now 30-minute webisodes. We started off with 15, and now we're at 30. So, oh my goodness, guys. So, I don't even know where to begin, you know? I know that we're at the deer camp. Whenever we lived there, it's just a lot of toxicity, and I don't know. I'm not sure what part I want to tell first. And yeah, y'all know from previous episodes that I've fallen from grace for sure. I'm no longer Miss Perfect at all. And gosh, trigger warning, I'm going to talk about heavy stuff in this episode. I don't even know what all heavy stuff, but I will be talking about some heavy stuff. So, basically, whenever we lived at the deer camp, our neighbor he was this awesome old man. And whenever he was younger, he got shot. It was like a hunting accident. He got shot in the belly. He survived it. He has a big belly wound. He loves it, whatever. And he was a good old man. And back in the day, whenever my dad lived there and lived next to deer camp, this guy, he would watch me, and he would watch this other family. They had 3 girls, and he would watch us, and he was a good babysitter. I mean, he was pretty awesome. He would have snacks. He would make us food. He'd give us good Kool-Aid, with lots of sugar. And he always had Disney movies, and yeah, he really was an all-around good guy. And once my kids came, we would go over to his house all the time. He was my neighbor, and he would come over and mow our yard, which I just thought was so nice. We had like a huge yard, and we just had a push mower, and Dave would go out there and be pushing just so far, but we had a huge yard, so he would come out with his riding mower and just mow it all down for us. So that was really nice. And he was a really good neighbor, like I said in a previous webisode, of him defending me and my babies from Zach whenever things got really bad. But, oh gosh, I don't know how I can stress y'all enough. I didn't know what was going on until I knew what was going on with that. But anyway, okay, so a lot of the women around the little rinky-dink town that we live in, because it's like way out in the boondocks. This is not a city, guys. It's not a city. Like I said, it's deer camp. So, there were some women around there. They were my friends. They were good girls, But they would, well, basically, my neighbor, he would let people live there pretty much rent-free, especially if they had kids. So one lady, she lived there, and another one, she would let her kids stay the night there a whole lot, because they were 2 little boys, okay? And these 2 little boys were always over at his house, pretty much, and he was pretty much always babysitting him. Their moms were there too, and I would go over there and hang out with their moms too sometimes when they were there, but he would always be babysitting them and everything. Well, one night, we were just watching our family shows, and they're banging on the door. And we open the door, and it's the 2 little boys. And they're like, you have to go over there. You have to go over there. And Dave ran over there, and they were crying, and they were saying, it's bad, and really crying. Like something had happened to this old man. And so I got my girls together, because, they also loved the neighbor, and we all prayed, and Dave had gotten to the house, and it turns out that one of the little boys' dad had been there and was fighting the neighbor and about whiskey, I think, and he ended up shooting the neighbor and left him there. And Dave got to him, and Dave pretty much said that he was pretty much gone. He said that it was a shock for him, like his trauma training like didn't quite kick in the same. That's what he had told me. I don't know, but it's a traumatic thing. It's very traumatic, and we had to call ambulance, 911, and the helicopter had to come. So yeah, we ended up having a funeral, and this little boy ended up testifying against his dad because he saw it. And it's so crazy. And you know, he's good friends with my daughter still to this day. But it's a crazy happening, you know. And oh, there was quite a bit of crazy happenings at that place. There's a local drunk. Basically, there's a couple local drunks, and one of them happened to be over at our house one day. I mean, they'll just stumble through the yard and be at the house, and you know, you tell them to move on, go on. And he was there, and he had stolen $20 off the table. It was just sitting there on the table, and he took it in front of everyone. And then he was trying to say that it's his, that it's owed to him, and whatever. And then he was being told to leave, and he wouldn't leave. Like, he started to leave, and then he started to come back. And yeah, my husband shot at him. He shot 3 shots. 2 missed him. The second one grazed him, and he was like, whoa, I felt that. And my husband's like, yeah, don't take another step closer, turn around and leave. And he took another step closer, and my husband shot him in the foot. And then, because of his trauma training, he was able to bandage the foot up, and then he took him to the hospital and like admitted it to the police. He had to go get turned in to the police and everything. And yeah, for a minute there was a prosecutor that wanted to prosecute him, but then they ended up dropping it. So that happened too. And yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happened there. And Dave ended up, there was one time we were drinking, and we were letting the kids hang out, and there's like a big bonfire, lots of other parents there drinking, letting the kids hang out, and Dave was talking smack, like he could take on the police, and he ain't scared of the police, and he doesn't need a taser or anything like that. And then like later on in the night, he has a run-in with the police, and sure enough, they tase him. I remember I was standing there with my sister, and when they tased him and he went down, I started laughing. And my sister's like, that's your husband. So, yeah. But to me, it was funny because he said, you know, earlier the night, all the smack that he was talking, and now obviously it's not true. But, you know, Dave he was kind of going downhill too. And he had an episode in the mental hospital, and basically, because he's a veteran, we were able to put in the veteran paperwork for PTSD, because at this point, you know, Dave he didn't want to do that. I had to talk him into it, but at this point, it was pretty obvious that Dave's got something going on that needs to be worked on, needs to be fixed. And he agreed, and we were able to get him on the VA disability. And this was like a lifesaver for our family, because it meant that we had enough to live on, and we didn't have to worry too much. I mean, we have to budget. We're not rich. It'd probably be better if I could go and get a job, but I seem to be broken. I don't know, or I seem to like to use the excuse that I'm broken. I don't know. But, yeah, so lot of things happened at that place. And Dave started getting therapy. And he started talking to the therapist, and the therapist was talking to him about the fact that she asked him, why did he want to go into the military? Why did he want to be a medic and stuff? And he said he wants to be able to save life. He wants to nurture life. And she said, why don't you think about looking into bird farming? And so he did. And he loved it. He loved it. I think that he loves the whole process. He seems to love hatching, incubating, hatching, growing, feeding, loving his ducks, his birds, really, because he's accumulated quite a big bird collection at this point, which I'm not against at all. So I think, and it really is, it's been amazing to me to watch how healing the birds can be for him. And I watched him cry over, not cry, I mean, come on guys, let's not, I've watched him mourn over a baby bird that didn't fully incubate. And that's kind of, I don't know, it's heartwarming, But, yes, at this time of my life, I also wasn't healthy. I think Dave and I, our traumas kind of attracted each other. Maybe we had like a trauma bond or something. I don't know. But my illness was getting more and more, I guess you could say. The dialectical behavior therapy was helping a lot. But at the same time, I don't know, I wasn't getting better. And it was getting more and more depressing because if we'll remember from previous webisodes, my depression is surrounded around my kids. And it's that I feel that I'm broken. I'm so broken that the best I can do is traumatize them. And I don't want to do that. Since that webisode, and it's so weird, it's the first time it ever dawned on me, because I've always thought there was two options, unalived mom or toxic mom. But there is another option. There's disappeared mom, mom that's not really in the picture, isn't there, and doesn't, but I didn't even consider that. It was unalived mom or toxic mom. And then we learned that I have BPD, and I'm like, okay, I can actually heal this, and I'm going through therapy. And then stuff is happening at home. It's just it's traumatizing. And Dave and I don't like to put our relationship out there. We don't like to put our relationship troubles out there. I'm not the type to put it on social media. So people think, that we have a really good relationship. I'm really lucky, but there's times it's tough. Dave's trauma, it seems to exasperate mine at times. There's times where he seems to amplify me into my trauma, and I know that that's not exactly correct. And I know that he's not doing it on purpose, but it happens and a lot, and it's just like the living there became more and more proof that I am toxic, right? And then everything that you find online, like Dave's looking for information of how to deal with a BPD partner, and they're telling him run, leave. So it hurts, and it's tough. At the same time, during this time, I'm watching online churches and I'm going to different pastors in different places to try to get these demons cast out of me. I just want to be a good person. I just want to be a good wife, and I just want to be a good mom. But it's clearly obvious that I can't. And it sucks. It's like reality just keeps putting that in my face, and it's hard. You know, you reach a breaking point. You know, I don't think I can move forward without rewinding just a little bit. I don't know why, but I have to have this in my story for some reason. It was a part that was there, and I can't leave it out. But, and the way that I want to say it too, I think that I do want to say it this way because I want to give you a reflection of what it was like to be in my mind during that time. How I was talking to myself. I decide whenever I had first gotten my BPD diagnosis, again, if you remember from the previous episode, it was happy. It was so exciting. Now there's a name to what's wrong with me, and we can find the answer. And for some reason, at this time in my life, it was a time where Zach was seeing the kids regular, and his mom was, sometimes she would ask to see the kids, and I would let them go with her. And, I want to say I'm so stupid. I was just so stupid. I was so stupid. I don't know. I thought that, I thought that she cared about me as the mother of her grandchildren. And meanwhile, she was running a hate campaign on me. You don't know what a hate campaign is. It's basically she's going around telling everybody everything that's wrong with me. And, like her favorite thing is that Zach has to pay $1,000 a month for those kids. I won't get them anything. Meanwhile, reality is so different. So different. And that was one of her favorites. And another one of her favorites, Misty just wants to alienate those kids from Zach. He tries so hard and she won't let them see them. It's so sad, and he's such a good, loving, caring father, but Misty won't let them see the kids. And she was constantly posting parental alienation memes. I call them memes, okay? So I know they're memes, but memes. She's constantly posting those memes, and they would trigger me so hardcore, especially the one that says parental alienation is the most toxic form of abuse. I'm like, oh my Lord, that means child molestation is the most important thing is that you don't keep your child from their molester, right? That's the most important thing. Anyway, oh my goodness, I first found out that I had the BPDs, and I was so happy about it. And at that time, I thought that, Zach's mom was my friend. And I wrote her a long email explaining that I have BPD, what it was formed from, what it means about me, that I'm not narcissistic, because that was another one of her things. She's going around telling about how poor Zach had this narcissistic ex that parental alienates, and he spends $1,000 a month, and she won't even give it to the kids. Yeah, so that's the whole story. How to walk around to it. I hope you enjoyed that journey that I took us on for no reason. But anyway, yeah, I gave her all of the ammo it's like, hey, like part of why I'm doing this story, everything that you're saying about me is false. So here's the true-ish. Here's the true-ish, and go out with the true-ish, at least be truthful about your hate smears, right? That makes sense to me. So, yeah, I did that. But as the time went on with this and doing the therapy and stuff, it began to seem like therapy isn't going to heal me fast enough. It's obvious the kids are growing. Like, I have this mantra with the kids, and Dave did not have this mantra with the kids at all, because, we would clash hardcore with this one. But my mantra with the kids was, I only get this kid at this age this year. Like, this is it. And I only get the kid at this age point, for this month, I only get to interact with you today, really. That's the truth. And that's how it is, And so I just wanted to cherish every single year, every single month, every single day that I got with my kids. I wanted to cherish it, whether I was toxic or not. Because I'm toxic. I'm not going to lie. Like, the BPD, the explosiveness, I'll just, out of nowhere. It seems out of nowhere. It really does. And I don't, the thing that's scary for me is that I don't have control over it like people think I do. And they think whenever I'm in it, they're like, get control. Which sometimes I can, which is incredibly dangerous. But I can. But yeah, that's the scary part for me. And everybody else thinks, like, that's the thing, is I see my fundamental brokenness. They don't. They think I'm just making it up for funsies, I guess. And then whenever it comes out, it's my fault. I should have not let that come out, So I began to see that therapy is just going to take too long, and it's not good. And so I took on my refill day, and I took every single pill. And Dave figured it out, and Dave took me to get my stomach pumped, and I ended up in the mental hospital yet again. At this time, I'm in my 30s. So I'm thinking, there's no foundation from my teens other than trauma. There's no foundation in my 20s other than trauma. What makes me think there's any hope for my 30s or beyond? And this hospital stay is a lot different. Again, the first one was like, whoa, what just happened? Where am I? Let's just have fun. The second one, let's take this serious. Let's figure out what's going on here. The third one, I don't see where there could be hope for me. And everybody kept saying, think about your kids. And every single time they would say, think about your kids, my head would go, are better off without you. Think about your kids and how they're better off without you. Just get to where don't tell me to think about my kids. One thing that did help was this one nurse in the mental hospital. Nothing was getting through, and I think that she could tell that if anybody said, think about your kids again, I was just going to explode. But she sat down, and she talked about late bloomers with me. It was one of the only things that could give me hope. I might be a late bloomer, and my story might help some other young woman where she won't have to go through it like I did. I don't know how. I still don't know how that could happen. But I'm not going to not put my story out there. And from that day forward, I had to live to tell my story. For you. For one of you. And that made it worth it. It's made it worth it. I hate that it's not my kids. But I love them with all my heart. I wish I could give them the world. Alright guys, I think we're out of time. Thank you so much for listening to my story. This one was a tough one. So grateful for you. So much. Thank you. And as always, God bless you with love. That's all. Wait a minute. No, that's not all she got. She got a little bit to say just here at the end, so hold on, folks. I just want to say really quick, I've got an exciting opportunity to share with you. As a student and a content creator, I pour my heart and my soul into each and every video, and I absolutely love bringing you all along on my crazy adventures. But you know, creating quality content requires a lot of time, effort, and resources. But that's where you can come in. If you enjoy my videos and want to share your support, I've set up a few ways for you to contribute and become an even more integral part of the Mystic Hillbilly community. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me to continue doing what I love most. First of all, I have a few donation options available to you. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution, you can find the links to my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal in the video descriptions. And every single donation, no matter how big or small, truly makes a difference and allows me to create even more exciting content for you all. But wait, there's more. I'm thrilled to introduce to you my Patreon membership, where for only $5.55 a month, you can gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content and outtakes from all my videos. As a Patreon supporter, you'll get to see all the edits and behind-the-scenes bloopers that didn't make it in the final cut. It's like having a VIP pass to the Mystic Hillbilly editing room. This is really something special for all my haters out there. As a member, you'll gain access to hours of footage of me making mistakes, doing everything wrong, and just having an all-around hilarious time. So, haters, if you ever want to see me in my most human, this is your golden opportunity. So, whether you choose to become a member or make a donation, know that your support is deeply appreciated. I genuinely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this amazing journey with me. Your positive energy and contributions mean everything to me. Before I go, I just want to take a moment to say that I pray that every blessing sent my way is multiplied and returned to the sender tenfold. May success find their way into your lives as you've brought them into mine. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time, stay adventurous, stay curious, and always remember to keep the mystic in you alive. And now, that's all she got.